The energy conversion report, check. The refinery production analysis, check. R&D's project update memorandum, check. Operative personnel report, check.
Linnet glanced from her crystal ball to see the operative approaching her. A small frown was on Karina's face, and her eyes were a little downcast and spacing out to some place beyond reality.
Karina! Hey!
Karina stopped and then looked up at her, perhaps noticing that she was not alone in the hallway. She gave an awkward sort of smile and then stepped to the side, as to not block the corridor for anyone else.
Oh, hello, Miss Linnet. How are you today, ma'am?
Ma'am? Please don't call me that. It makes me sound 1,000 years old. I'm fine. I'm just heading for my management planning meeting. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Just working hard.
I've heard from Elvinia that you've been doing some extra hours helping Ollie with Arcanist stuff. How is that going?
I hope that's okay. I don't want to get her in trouble.
It's fine. Believe me, if it wasn't, Elvinia would have said something. You know, it's funny. I reviewed your personnel file and saw that you minored in arcane science. Do you enjoy Arcanist stuff?
Yeah. I really love it.
May I please ask you something? It's totally off record and just between you and I.
Sure?
You just fell into Autumn Energy Operations, didn't you?
Oh, well, I mean, it's a great field.
Relax, I totally get it. I was exactly and literally where you were 5 years ago when I first started out in Autumn Energy Operations.
You were?
Yeah. You see, once upon a time, I was at a point in my life where I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I had no idea how to figure it out. I was pressured into going into this field because my family legacy was steeped in a tradition of being powerful Autumn Energy operatives. I'm sure you don't know anything about that, huh?
Actually, I know exactly what it's like. Both my mothers are powerful and famous attack-style operatives. So are my older sisters. I was the odd one for liking arcane science.
I know! I did a background check on you when we hired you, and saw that you came from a famous lineage. I also noticed how you acted, how you approached missions, and how apprehensive you were. I recognized myself in you. You see, I come from a long line of powerful and famous songstresses. My older sister is Latifa, and my mother is Latessa.
You're related to both Latifa and Latessa? They are famous. They're even more renowned than my family.
Well, your family is also held in high regard. So, when I first started, I had mixed feelings about the role of Autumn Energy Operative. In fact, I almost quit.
Really? But why?
I realized that I didn't enjoy what I was doing, and I didn't want to sacrifice myself to settle for something that didn't fulfill me. There were things about the job that I really enjoyed, like Elvinia, Nixie, and Alfreda. However, at the time, we had 2 horrible Citadel commanders.
I heard about the Merica incident, and how her faulty leadership led to a crushing defeat at the hands of the Sparkle Guardians, before the new commander Alfreda brokered a peace treaty.
Yep, that's totally what happened. But anyway, after Merica's defeat by the Sparkle Guardians, I gave myself permission to explore what I really wanted to do. Autumn Energy Operations, wasn't it? And that was okay for me. And if it isn't for you, then that's also okay.
Karina averted her eyes.
Life is too short to do something that brings you misery. If it's not what you want to do, that's okay. I chose a different career track within the company, and this career track helps fund my passion.
What's your passion?
My passion is horticulture. It brings me inner peace and happiness, so I find life fulfillment there. My best friend helped me realize that our careers don't always have to be the thing that defines us. Sometimes our careers enable us to do hobbies that give us great passion, and that's perfectly wonderful. Just between us, what is your greatest passion? Something you'd love to do?
Honestly, and just between us, I would love to be an arcanist one day. That would be my dream job, but I can't get there.
Why not?
Because I'm a bruiser. My powers kind of pigeonholed me into this role. Besides, I don't even have the degree.
Linnet placed a hand on Karina's shoulder.
Okay, let's go down the list. Firstly, it doesn't matter what powers you have, or what you think you're pigeonholed into. You can follow whatever path you want, and if anyone else has a problem with it, they can kiss your ass.
A small smile started to grow on Karina's face.
Secondly, while degrees are important, experience is also a crucial factor with any position. Maybe while you're helping with Alali, you can demonstrate your skill with arcane science. Who knows? Maybe you can even request transfer into R&D as an assistant or something, and then eventually work your way up to Arcanist one day. I mean, Alfreda basically created a new position for me, and I rocked it out hard.
Yeah. Alali had the same idea. She's been really cool to work with.
Yeah, she's pretty wonderful, huh?
Yeah, she is.
Linnet regarded Karina a little closer. Karina's eyes sparkled a little as she stared off to the left, and her cheeks became a little more rosy. They became even more crimson when Karina noticed Linnet studying her. Great warmth splashed within Linnet's insides, and she grinned widely.
So, hey, I have to get to a meeting, but if you ever need to talk, vent, or seek guidance, please come talk to me. Like I said, I've been where you are, so I totally get it. No matter what decision you make for yourself, it will be the right one.
Oh, sure.
Linnet watched Karina walk off, and then she started moving as well. She brought up her crystal ball and started tapping through emails she had received.
Ah, Linnet. There you are. I was just about to send out a search party.
Linnet waltzed around the round conference table and sat at the end beside Elvinia. Alfreda was sitting opposite of Linnet, while the head of Anam Refining, a Nymphian named Iolo, was to Alfreda's right. She was an average-sized person with mustard yellow hair and a pair of pink-colored irises. In terms of attire, she wore a pair of standard-issue white overalls, a long-sleeved darker red button-up shirt, and a pair of black boots. All of the Anam refinery workers had the same outfits, although Iolo wasn't wearing her protective gloves or helmet at the moment. As soon as Linnet sat down, she tapped on the surface of her crystal ball.
You should have all the necessary reports in your drive folder now. Sorry I was a little late. I was catching up with one of our operatives.
Oh? Which one? By the way, Iolo, you don't have to stay for this. I know you're busy calibrating the reactors. We can catch up in our next meeting.
Sure thing, boss lady. Ladies, it's always great to see you.
Have a great day.
Bye!
Iolo collected her belongings and then left the conference room.
So again, who were you touching base with?
It was Karina, actually. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I was just checking in with her as she's still fairly new.
Yes, she is. But I think she has some great potential. She comes from some good stock, as most of her family were also operatives. However, I suspect that's not where she wants to be.
What do you mean?
I've been monitoring her progress on missions, as well as whenever we have planning sessions between the two of us. Let me guess. She may have mentioned something similar during your impromptu hall meeting.
I can neither confirm nor deny such allegations.
Ha! I knew it. It's fine. It won't affect her job or my view of Karina. She works hard on missions, and she's always receptive and engaged during our one-on-one meetings. I have noticed that she seems to brighten up when we talk about the technology and artifacts that she will be given. I've also noticed that she's been logging in some extra time with one of our arcanists.
It's true. I noticed that she always comes after her shifts, and sometimes she and Aluli are still working after I go home. I have noticed that there's been some interesting suggestions and improvements with Aluli's artifact designs too.
So, is Karina helping Aluli?
I think she's acting as Alali's assistant. I'm not sure if you remember or not, but Karina has a minor in arcane science. And to be honest, she has fanciful career dreams of becoming an arcanist one day. Karina mentioned that she doesn't think she can ever do it, though, as she doesn't have the college degree.
I mean, the college degree is nice, but if someone has the experience and the skill to make artifacts, then the degree isn't really required. I think I'm going to observe this little friendship between Aluli and Karina and see what blossoms. Maybe she could be an arcanist one day.
Please keep me posted on what you think of her potential. If she has greater preference toward arcane science, maybe we could make her an assistant researcher or train her to do what full arcanists do.
A wide smirk smeared across Linnet's face.
And what is so amusing?
So I have not confirmed it, but...
Is it that Aluli has a crush on her?
What?
It's true. I've noticed when it's time for Karina to come to her section in R&D, Aluli gets a little more peppy. And when Karina is there, they're both super animated. And when Karina is late, Aluli gets visually huffy. It's kinda adorable.
Actually, I didn't know that Alali had a crush on Karina.
Wait, if that's not what you were... Wait... Does Karina have feelings for Alali?
I think so. She was blushing like crazy when Alali's name came up. It was so cute.
I don't know if either of them knows about the other yet. So far, it looks like they're both trying to play it cool. At least it looks like that when they're working on projects. And when they are in R&D, they always maintain themselves and are pretty engrossed in making stuff, experimenting, and discussion.
So they aren't like the other two arcanists. I don't see any issues with light romantic tension, so long as it doesn't cause disruption. Okay, so I wanted to wait until Linnet was here before I brought up something more serious.
Alfreda tapped on her tablet, and then brought up the desired email.
I've made some inquiries of our board of directors about who else could possibly be in this dimension, harvesting Anam energy. There are one of 3 possibilities.
3? There are 3 other companies who are licensed to harvest here. I thought we were the only ones.
We were the only ones. But after I took over as Citadel Commander, other companies viewed our dimension with hungry eyes. However, I have my suspicions. The first company is Lysander Energy LLC. I managed to establish email correspondence with their Citadel Commander, and they are in another part of the world, in another country. They're also fighting an aggressive team of magical girls.
Wow! Another team of magical girls? I'm so glad we've established peace thus far with the Sparkle Guardians.
Yes. Lysander's Citadel Commander is a Nymphian named Ogana, and she's actually locked in an actual war with those Sparkle Guardians. It's unfortunate, but it's not our circus. The second company was Puck Industries, and they actually suffered under a violent corporate merger by the third possible company.
You mean like a turf war?
No. In turf wars, companies fight over territory and harvesting rights, and the loser leaves the dimension. What clearly happened to Puck was way more intense.
In merger wars, companies are battling for more than territory. They are deciding which one will be left existing. The other company is essentially devoured by the other. According to my board contacts, Puck's headquarters was attacked by the third company and they never stood a chance. All Puck Industries citadels had to return to Nymphia to be repurposed for the third company.
Who is the third company?
Titania Tech. The board of directors has expressed multiple concerns related to Titania Tech's citadels and operatives suddenly showing up and engaging in turf wars with the other Oberon Corp citadels. I had hoped we were too small a dimension for them to come here. I'm almost certain it's them we're contending with.
Titania Tech. I once had the chance to work there, but I turned it down.
Oh, really? Why is that? I'm glad you didn't work for them. Otherwise, I would never have met you. My family has always worked for the Oberon Corp.
Well, my rival in college actually took an internship there, which is why I wanted to choose another company.
You had a rival in college? What was she like?
Well, my rival in college actually took an internship there, which is why I wanted to choose another company. She was, like me, ambitious, intelligent, and very gifted when it comes to artifact creation. When we first met, we got along great. But then she started to research dark and chaotic things that were potentially evil. After that, her artifacts started to become more destructive and devastating. When we parted ways, she was completely obsessed with all things unholy.
So, somewhere out there, there's an evil version of you?
Pretty much. My rival, Majida. I think she's still with the company. Wherever she is, she's bound to bring absolute annihilation.
Hello? Nicholas, is that you?
It sure is. It's been a while. I think. Wow, was it really at Tyler's wedding?
Yes, it has been that long. I understand why. You're so busy at your university with so many obligations.
Dana sat on her couch with her cat Artemis sleeping on her lap.
You would not believe how much responsibility they just thrust on me this year. The department chair announced his retirement after this academic year, and so I'm being groomed to be the next chair. It will definitely help me get my tenure quicker.
That's wonderful news. You worked so hard for it, and I know you're going to be a great chair.
Enough about me, though. I've heard from the others that you're having way more exciting experiences than I am.
Oh, yes. So exciting.
So, how are you doing? Are you holding up okay?
Honestly, I don't know. Before Raquel awoke, I was all alone, standing against an unknown enemy. Now there are 4 new guardians, although I've only met 2 of them so far.
Wow, that's interesting and fortuitous that more Sparkle Guardians are popping up. I'm glad you don't have to face this alone. Had any of us known this was going to happen, we would have stayed.
I know that. None of us could have seen this coming. Had I known, I would have been training every day and come up with like 20 more special moves.
You mean like they do in anime?
Yes, like they do in anime. These new Nymphians are more intense, Nicholas. They're just like Merica was.
Oh wow, that's troubling. I guess we were lucky enough to square up against good Nymphians. But at least you're not alone.
Yeah, thank goodness for that.
So, tell me about the others. What are they like?
Well, I don't really know Paul all that well yet. He's friends with Raquel and he's in college to be a teacher. It turns out that he is Sparkle Guardian Hestia, which surprised me.
Well, this isn't the first time we had a pairing that didn't match the gender. Look at Frankie and Sparkle Guardian Zeus.
True. Anyway, Sparkle Guardian Hestia has a riot shield that creates energy shields and shoots out fireballs.
That sounds really useful. What about Raquel?
Oh, Raquel. Well, she's Sparkle Guardian Persephone. She has this crazy magical sight that is super sharp. I think she's a melee-focused guardian, which is great since she replaces Tyler's role.
Is everything okay between you two? I mean, is she hard to get along with or something?
No, it's not like that. Raquel is very interesting. She's in college for historic preservation, and she wants to be an archaeologist and/or work in a museum someday. She's driven, ambitious, and, well, very bold and charismatic.
Bold and charismatic. How?
She has been flirting with me, pretty overtly, actually.
There was a short pause, and then Nicholas started laughing hard.
And what is so damn funny?
This is karma. How long did you pine after Frankie?
That was an unrequited experience, and I had the best intentions.
Are you saying this isn't unrequited?
A small lump formed at the base of Dana's throat.
Dana, no!
Shut up, it's not my fault. Raquel's really cute and she's interesting, and I wasn't trying to catch feelings. It's nice to hear someone thinks you're pretty.
Hey, no judgments here. You do you, girl. Are you flirting back?
Absolutely not. While I find her very attractive, I'm not trying to make this awkward. I don't want to send the wrong impression, and with everything else going on, that is the last thing I need to think about.
That's understandable. Not only do you have the threat of dangerous Nymphians, but you also have that job promotion to consider.
Frankie told you about that?
Yeah, they did. However, given the current situation, I'm sure you don't want to think about that either.
No, I don't. I can't even consider that until the dangerous Nymphian ordeal is handled.
That's fair. If these new Nymphians are really that dangerous, then you have to find the other two Sparkle Guardians before they get killed.
I know. I'm trying.
You're doing an amazing job. Don't forget that.
Thank you. It's nice to be reminded of that.
All right, let's begin. This shouldn't take too long.
Kolumbia stood at the head of the conference table, and there was a whiteboard on the wall behind her. Mojita was sitting to her immediate left with her small staff of arcanists. Along the right side were her staff of Anam energy operatives. Heaux and Jodesha were seated beside one another, as well as Nagawa, Ojin, and Yorn. Sarita was not present, but that was because of her position.
I have given my report to Titania Tech's board of directors, related to our initiatives and operations. Other citadels are also engaging in turf wars with Oberon core sites, and so far, the wars are going in our favor. There are defeats in some of the systems, but so far, we have claimed 14 dimensions previously held by them. We have been given complete authority to completely devastate the Oberon core citadel, as well as the local infestation of magical girls.
Well, now there's a magical boy who joined the ranks.
Actually, there are 2 more Sparkle Guardians somewhere in the city, although we have not been able to identify them yet.
It doesn't matter how many magical girls, boys, or non-binary individuals appear. We will kill them all.
A wide smile creased Jodesha's face, and Heaux cackled a little.
Ladies, we have 2 factions of enemies that we must deal with, and that is what we are going to do. I'm more concerned with the Oberon core Nymphians than I am the Sparkle Guardians at the moment. So Heaux, Jodesha, you'll be on Team 1.
Jodesha sat up straighter in her chair, and she smiled broader.
You and Heaux will take some of the newer models of minions, and ambush one of the Oberon operative teams. Make enough ruckus that it draws out their Citadel commander. I want to meet her face to face.
A long time coming, huh, boss?
Yes, it is. Team 1 will keep the Oberon Corps Nymphians' eyes on us. Meanwhile, Team 2 will consist of Yorn and Nagawa.
Both Nagawa and Yorn perked up a little.
Team 2 will focus on drawing the Sparkle Guardians out. Keep them distracted, and if you can, kill as many as you can. But also exercise safety so you both come back alive. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Kolumbia pointed toward Ojin.
Ojin, you will be on Team 3, along with 2 members of the R&D department. Your goal is to set up a covert Anam extractor. The pair of Arcanists have already been briefed. You and your minions will act as a security force to ensure their safety. Meet with your teams and come up with operation plans. And then come by my office to brief me on what you're going to do. Until then, I'll be in my office.
Kolumbia walked out of the conference room while she held her hands clasped behind her. A small degree of festering rage bubbled up on the edge of her conscious mind, but she kept it at bay. There would be time for revenge soon enough. It was to her great fortune that her district supervisor understood how to motivate her and was so supportive of her grand plan. It served both the company's and her own desires. She walked past the administrative assistant's desk, although her assistant was at lunch at the moment. Kolumbia strolled into her office and then over to a small elevator that had been placed against the wall. With slight elegance, she pressed the elevator button, entered it when the doors opened, and then pressed the button with the M on it. Slowly, the elevator descended deeper into the Citadel. A minute later, the doors opened wide. Kolumbia exited the elevator and came upon the secret lab that she and Mojita often utilized. Various machines lined the walls of the laboratory, but Kolumbia moved toward a large metal table. Resting on the table was a singular figure, a massive metal golem that had scorch marks along its eyes. It had a massive dent in the chest, where more scorch marks had been stained upon the metal. The metal golem was inert, and had been so for many years. Kolumbia rested a hand on the metal golem's arms.
Soon, we will have revenge. I swear it.